Shepardy. Please welcome today's contestants. A student originally from Sayreville, New Jersey, Nancy Kimmel. A media specialist originally from Richboro, Pennsylvania, Robin Shepherd. And our returning champion, a computer programmer from Downey, California, Zach Baker, whose one-day cash winnings total $26,401. And now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trevet.
Thanks, Johnny. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. My, oh my, we have three very young-looking contestants today with us, but not as young as next week when we have the teens coming back to play on our show. But today, a good champion in Zach and good challengers in Nancy and Robin. So, good luck. Here we go, Jeopardy round. And the categories that are in play today are as follows. First things first, that makes sense. Mother Goose, yum, candy. The New York Times Magazine, science, and finally, and this is not a medical category, inside Alex Trebek. Each correct response will be a word that can be formed from the letters in my first and last name. Zach, start us off.
Well, let's start out with yum candy for 200.
Some of this company's fine chocolates are embossed with its naked lady on a horse logo. Robin.
What is Godiva?
Yes.
Mother Goose for 200.
Some believe these two water fetchers represented Cardinal Wolsey and the Bishop of Tarbes. Zach.
What is Jack and Jill?
Correct.
Goose for 400.
This month brings breezes loud and shrill. Nancy.
What is April?
No. Robin.
What is March?
March, yes.
Mother Goose for 600.
This nursery rhyme heroine may have been a veiled reference to Mary, Queen of Scots, and the spider to John Knox. Nancy.
Who is Little Miss Muffet?
Correct.
Mother Goose, 800.
She was commanded to put the kettle on and we'll have tea. Robin.
Who is Polly?
That's right.
Mother Goose, 1,000.
Various verses in this nursery rhyme had the dog smoking a pipe, standing on his head, and dancing a jig. Zach.
What is Old Mother Hubbard?
You're right.
Let's go to science for 200.
The heat from the lamp causes the snake to dance, as hot air is less this five-letter term than cold air, and therefore rises and spins the snake.
Zach.
What is dense?
Less dense, yes.
Science for 400.
In the nervous system, calcium ions crossing the gap between these cause a release of acetylcholine. Robin.
What are neurons?
Neurons, yes.
Yum candy, 400.
Chico sticks aren't chicken flavored. They're made from peanut butter and this tropical treat. Zach.
What is coconut?
Coconut, yes.
Candy for 600.
In 1997, this candy introduced a female character who's green. She called her autobiography, I Melt for No One. Zach.
What is M&M's?
Yes.
Candy for 800.
The candy once marketed as Mrs. Stover's Bungalow Candies is sold under this brand name today. Zach.
What is Russell Stover?
That's right.
Candy for 1,000.
It was the last name of the brothers who perfected their now famous English toffee bar way back in 1928. Robin?
What is Heath?
Yes.
First things first, 200.
It took 6 tries, but in 2002, Steve Fawcett became the first man to fly solo around the world in one of these. Zach?
What is a hot air balloon?
Yes.
First for 400.
In 1935, drivers in Oklahoma City became the first to feed these, a nickel in the slot. Zach?
What's a parking meter?
Yes.
First for 600.
Produced by the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, the first ones of these in rolls were issued in 1908. They were doing it to stamps way back then. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk to the players after this. Stay with us, please. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Nancy Kimmel, beautiful hair. I noticed it has been trimmed. How long was it before you had it cut?
A real cut, I haven't had a real cut since I was 10 years old.
Really?
Yes.
But it's very evenly
I
sliced.
keep it up, yes.
Now, what's this about the SWAT team descending on your house?
My husband was on the telephone with a state agency, and the employee was giving him a hard time, and he got so exasperated, he finally said, what do I have to do? Put a gun to my head? So she put him on hold and called the police, and the SWAT team was there in a matter of minutes asking him where the gun was.
Oh, dear, yeah. Hold that thought for just a moment.
Yeah.
We'll call the SWAT team. Robin Shepherd, media specialist from Richboro, Pennsylvania. This young lady was once accosted by a member of the First Family.
Yes, that's correct.
Which member?
Well, I was with a group that was touring the White House, and we were having our photo taken on the South Lawn. And the president at the moment decided it was time for a breath of fresh air and opened the door, not knowing we were out there. And Buddy the dog came running out and jumped up on all of us for a lot of head pets and little doggy kisses. And Secret Service detained him as soon as they were able, but got a few head rubs in first.
She wrote down, ladies and gentlemen, once accosted by a member of the First Family. So you figure it's got to be a son or a daughter, right? I got just swept right up there. Okay. Zach Baker is our champion. When he was 7 years old, made his own video game, right?
Yes, but I didn't really have the computer skills to make it on the computer, so I made it out of cardboard.
Out of cardboard. But it worked. How much money did you make?
My parents were very generous, and I made 75 cents.
Okay, that's a little less than you've won so far as the champ on Jeopardy, so maybe you can earn even more today. Right now, you have command of the board, so you select from the remaining clues. Please, Zach.
Well, all right, let's go back to first things first for 800.
Answer. Daily double. You picked the right one. You have a $1,000 lead.
Let's say 2,000.
For 2,000, here is the clue. Still in operation, the world's first pay-one-price theme park opened in this U.S. state in 1961.
What is New York?
No. What is Texas? Six Flags over Texas. $2.97. About what it is today, I think. Zach, go again.
Well, let's try first things first for 1,000.
In 1967, Carl Stokes defeated Seth Taft to become the first black mayor of a major U.S. city. This one. Zach.
What is Washington, D.C.?
No. Robin or Nancy? City was Cleveland, Ohio. You're at 800. You're still in second place, Zach.
Well, okay, let's come back with science for 600.
Answer there. Kelly?
Normally, an ice cube floats. This one, however, sinks right to the bottom because it's made of heavy water, or D2O, the D standing for this isotope.
Zach.
What is deuterium?
Deuterium, yes.
Science for 800.
Answer. As opposed to what arthropods have, vertebrates have this internal framework. Robin.
What is a skeleton?
Be more specific.
What is an endoskeleton?
You got it, yes.
Science for 1,000.
Jimmy this time.
Though the top book appears to be suspended in air, more than half the weight of the stack rests on the table. The principle is used to build this type of bridge.
Nancy.
What is a suspension bridge?
No. Zach.
What is a cantilever?
Cantilever, that is right.
Well, let's go to Inside Alex Trebek's for 200.
To loosen as a grip, or just to take it easy. Zach.
What is to relax?
Yes.
400.
An 1852 Dickensian title house. Nancy.
What is bleak?
Correct.
Inside Alex Trebek for 600.
This can be a large drinking vessel or a small-lipped one used for science experiments. Robin.
What is a beaker?
Beaker, yes.
Inside Alex Trebek, 800.
Thai kings considered this a royal tree under strict protection. And this time you go inside of me to find a teak. Robin.
Inside Alex Trebek's 1,000.
In the 1820s, this British university's campus was a farm that served Devonshire cream to strollers. Zach.
What is...
Oh, you took too long. I thought you people would have trouble with this. It's Exeter. Sorry, Robin, not quickly enough. We have less than a minute to go now, and Robin, you pick.
New York Times Magazine, 200.
Robin Morantz Henig's recent masterful essay on evolutionary biology was titled, This 19th Century Scientist's God. Robin.
Who is Darwin?
Charles Darwin, right.
Magazine for 400.
February 2007's From Zero to 60 to World Domination explored this Japanese auto company's rise to prominence. Nancy.
What is Honda?
No. Zach.
What is Toyota?
Toyota, yes.
Magazine for 600.
In March 2007's Choosing a Sect, Noah Feldman studied the USA's dealings with these two main Iraqi Muslim sects. Zach.
What is Shiite and Sunni?
Yes.
Magazine for 800.
December 2006's The Lives They Lived covered the 2006 passings of such notables as this founder and namer of Pink Floyd. Nancy.
Who is Sid Barrett?
Yes, and now the last clue for 1,000. A new one of these super nuclear physics accelerators was the subject of Jim Holt's Where Protons Will Play. Zach.
What is a super collider?
Yes, and that takes you to 3,600. You're still in second place. Nancy, you're in third, but you're not in the red. You will select first in Double Jeopardy after this. My apologies to Six Flags. I inflated their entrance fee from the 1960s. It was not $2.97, it was $2.75. And it's still the same today, of course. Nancy, you picked first in Double Jeopardy. Here we go. American poets and poetry, the first category, followed by the fabulous 50s. Next, heteronyms, words that are spelled the same but pronounced differently, like lead and lead. 24, time to save the world, of course. Where do we start, Nancy?
Heteronyms for 400.
To shine something, or an adjective meaning something from Warsaw. Nancy.
What is polish and Polish?
Yes.
Heteronyms for 800.
To direct an orchestra, or someone's behavior. Robin.
What is conduct and conduct?
Yes.
Heteronyms 1200.
Tiny, or 60 seconds collectively. Robin.
What is minute and minute?
Yes.
Heteronyms 1600.
A seamstress, or an underground channel for wastewater. Nancy.
What is sewer and sower?
Correct.
Heteronyms for 2000.
Answer, Daily Double. You're back in it. In fact, you can move into second place.
Let's make it a true Daily Double.
All right, good for you. 4,000 if you are correct on this. An exterior door, or to magically captivate someone.
What is entrance and entrance?
That's right. 4,000 as you move into second place. Well done. Go again.
Fabulous 50s, 400.
When the monorail opened at Disneyland in 1959, it was dedicated by this man, who was then the U.S. Vice President. Zach.
Who was Nixon?
Yes.
50s for 800.
Pat Carroll, Carl Reiner, and Nanette Fabray all won Emmys in 1957 for their work on this comic's Hour. Zach.
Who was Milton Berle?
No. Nancy.
Who is Sid Caesar?
Yes.
Fabulous 50s for 1200.
On his 1958 Christmas card, Elvis wore his army uniform. This man, his manager, was dressed up like Santa. Zach?
Who was Colonel Parker?
Yes.
1600.
This beauty is seen here reigning as Miss America 1955, long before she co-starred on Barnaby Jones. Nancy?
Who is Lee Merriweather?
Yes.
Fabulous 50s, 2000.
Fatefully, Alexander Borodin won a 1954 Tony as composer of this musical, even though he died in 1887. Nancy?
Who is Prince Igor?
No. Zach?
What is Kismet?
Kismet was the musical. You are right.
24 for 400.
In a classic nursery rhyme, there are 24 of these baked in a pie. Nancy?
What are blackbirds?
Right.
24 for 800.
In 1924, this Russian leader died, and Stalin began purging rivals to take over the top spot. Robin?
Who is Lenin?
Yes.
24 for 1200.
Discovered in 1908 and named for the mother of the Minotaur, Pasiphae is the 24th moon of this planet. Robin?
What is Pluto?
Nope. Nancy?
What is Jupiter?
Jupiter. You got to go with the biggest in a situation like this. Yes.
24 for 1600.
The 24th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution abolished this tax by name as a requirement for voting. Robin?
What is the poll tax?
Yes.
24 for 2000.
Because of this three-word optical phenomenon, still images projected at 24 frames per second seem to be moving pictures. Zach?
What is persistence of vision?
You are right.
And let's have time to save for 400.
According to the proverb, it's what a stitch in time does. Nancy?
What is saves 9?
Yes.
Time to save for 800.
You might clip these from the Old French for piece cut off for discounts at the grocery store. Nancy?
What are coupons?
Correct.
Time to save 1200.
An incentive to save aluminum cans for recycling. The return of this money paid as security. Zach?
What is a deposit?
Yes.
Time to save for 1600.
Answer there. Daily Double. It's a close game. You have a $2,000 lead over Robin.
All right. 3,000.
3 it is. Here's the clue. Your nest egg might be this type of individual retirement account named for a Delaware senator.
What is a Roth IRA?
That's it. 12,600, making it tougher for Robin and Nancy. Go again.
Save for 2,000.
The logo of this website that allows parents to save for their kids' college educations is seen here. Zach?
What is You Promise?
You Promise is right.
Poets for 400.
This subject of a Longfellow poem watched with eager search the belfry tower of the Old North Church? Nancy.
Who is Paul Revere?
That's right.
American Poets and Poetry, 800.
This beat poet's father, Lewis, was a teacher and a poet in his own right. Zach.
Who was Ginsberg?
Ginsberg, Allen Ginsberg, correct.
Poets for 1200.
A literary scholar who visited her in Amherst in 1870 described her as plain and having a soft, frightened, childlike voice. Robin.
Who is Emily Dickinson?
Yes.
Poets and Poetry, 1600.
In 1922, this poet and Lincoln biographer wrote rutabaga stories to entertain his 3 daughters. Robin.
Who is Walt Whitman?
No.
Oh, shoot.
Zach or Nancy? Who is Carl Sandburg? Less than a minute to go now, Robin.
Poets and Poetry, 2000.
Archibald MacLeish's Ars Poetica contains the line, "A poem should not mean, but this." Should not mean, but be. Robin, back to you.
The World for 400.
It's home to close to 110 million people. Nancy.
What is Mexico?
Right.
The World for 800.
The Socialist Republic highlighted here. It was much in U.S. news 4 decades ago. Nancy.
What is Vietnam?
Correct.
World for 1200.
A colony of Genoa in the 13th century. It's the tiny country indicated here. Zach.
What is Monaco?
Right.
The world